just like to say, welcome you all. Thank you so much for, giving your time up today, tonight, wherever it is in the world. We love the fact that we've got a multi-global call going on. And really somebody thought, a lot of you to be able to invite you here. Basically, they wanted to share the opportunity that they've seen within Ibummerang, the company I'm going to talk about. Today we're going to talk about home-based businesses and why Ibummerang is the fastest growing company globally. And if you believe in multiple income streams and you love to travel, then you're absolutely in the right place at the moment. So I'm going to share with you why we're so different, why we're standing out from the crowd in what we're doing, and why we've got somebody nobody else has got, and why we're breaking all records. But first of all, I'll just do a quick introduction to me. I'm Beverley Price, and I've been in corporate for 30 years. And I know a couple of you are from the media advertising background. So I was working with Ogilvy Mather Direct, got transferred over to Sydney, where I lived for 20 years, and went on to run Mindshare, which is a media company over in Sydney. So, I've always worked for other people, had a great experience of it, but I've always been building somebody else's wealth and, doing the 9 to 5 or more like 8 to 8. And I've always wanted my own business, but I'm always wanted more out of life. But I've never actually wanted what I consider all the headaches of running your own business. So the stock, the staff, the shop, accounts, logistics, etc. Being a jack of all trades and master of none. So I got introduced to this industry about 7 years ago. And I couldn't believe that they did everything, seriously. And all I had to do was share something that I really liked anyway. It was a product-based company. And it was, ended up coming back to the UK, top 25 income earner, and, enrolled over 500 people in my last company. But the remuneration wasn't where I wanted it to be versus the time I was spending on the business. And, I also see success massively as getting my team paid, and that just wasn't happening. So I love the freedom of the industry. I could work from anywhere. I currently still have a house in Australia, and that's where I'll go back to eventually, but I'm living in the UK, and wherever I live, I can do my business from, and I love that. And literally all I need for my business is a computer and a mobile phone, and that's it, I'm away. So they're my overheads. So that's really, really cool. So I got introduced to Ibummerang last December, and I was really, really excited when I saw a service-based company. It's been around only for a year. It's done $40 million worth of sales. It's across 180 countries. My last company was only in 14. And literally we are 13 months in. We're still in beta test mode. It's not perfect. But the beautiful thing about this is, if I ask you the question, would you get involved or invest in Amazon, when it was $2 a share or when it was $2,000 a share, I would hope, knowing what you know now, you'd be able to say absolutely at $2 a share. Well, I see this as very similar opportunity, but it's in services rather than product base. So it's, you're in a really, really hot seat. So who is Ibummerang? To me, they are a pioneering tech industry disruptor. And what do I mean by that, right? So they are the Uber to what Uber's done to the taxi industry, what Airbnb's done to the hotel industry, what Netflix has done to the way that we watch television, and what Amazon's done for retail sales. Ibummerang has done absolutely the same for the network marketing industry and the travel industry. Now, you might, have different ideas or experience, or know somebody, a friend about who's done network marketing and it's worked or not worked or whatever, whether they call it network marketing, affiliate, MLM, direct sales, whatever. All I just ask you is just to be open-minded for half an hour. This is very, very different, and you can do this business without selling. But this is about basically you getting paid and helping people save money on services that they're already buying. So, who here believes in multiple income streams? I know I certainly do. And, these days having one boss and one company, working the 9 to 5 have really gone. The pandemic, as we were just talking about, has meant that finances are really, really tight, and people are looking for other ways to make money. On the news the other day, they were saying there's going to be 25 million people unemployed at the end of the pandemic. I had a friend who's been furloughed, and he basically has an extra 4.5 extra hours a day, so he's got no commuting. He can take his lunch break when he wants, no water cooler chat, etc. But he can either be productive in those hours and build a future for himself, or, he can treat it as a holiday. So online businesses, like ours, are absolutely booming at the moment. Amazon did $22 billion extra in the last couple of weeks. And we've had a 12% growth in business, basically in business last month. There's a very credible site called businessforhomes.org. you know, and we're #1 out of the top 500 companies, and of the top online only companies, so service-based companies out of the top 5, we're the one that people recommend to go with. So before I get started, we have to do a little quick disclaimer. You know, as with any business, you have to be open to coaching and willing to put the time in and learn. I also often assimilate it to going to the gym. You know, at the end of the day, you go to the gym, you all get the same equipment to actually work with. So can somebody put somebody on mute, please, Curtis? You can put you can have the same equipment. You've all got the same equipment. At the end of the day, you can go there 5 or 6 times and get the body you want, or you can go there and chat and not get to go. So it's a level playing field for everybody. We've got proven systems to plug you into to help you succeed. So it's time for network marketing to evolve, and actually, you know, it's time for all marketing to evolve and all business to evolve. You know, technological advances have really increased efficiencies, and you know, companies like your Amazons, as I said, your Apples, your Dysons, your Airbnbs have just completely, you know, come ahead of the times. Who'd have thought that, you know, 20% of homes in the UK now basically have robots in them, the Alexas, the Siris, the Hello Googles. You know, the whole world is changing and technology is changing that. So, you know, why would you want to go with a company that has you know, forward-thinking, futuristic technology? You know, companies that haven't changed are the companies like BlackBerry, Blockbuster, Thomas Cook, you know, Laura Ashley, Carphone Warehouse, and many others that will suffer for the end of the pandemic. So network marketing in itself, though, hasn't changed for 60 years, you know. What do we mean by network marketing? Simply, it's a referral business. So marketing and selling through a network of people rather than through retail. So we're natural referrers anyway. You know, we refer great restaurants, we refer, you know, like great movies, you know, but we don't get paid for it. So, you know, when the new Bond movie comes out, I might see posters for it or TV ads and think, yeah, I'll get around to seeing that. But if my best friend comes and says, Beverley, you've got to go and see this Bond movie, Daniel Craig is amazing, I would be booking a ticket in the next few days. So the two things that, this is really important to me, that the reason why I changed from a product-based business to a service-based business, there were two things that didn't work for me. One was duplication. So getting people to do what I do. You know, 97% of people don't like selling. You know, put your hand up if you don't like selling. You know, I don't like selling. I don't like following up as well. So trying to get people to do what you do, whether you like it or not, was really, really difficult. And the second thing was the retention, you know, keeping people engaged with the products. The average engagement was 79 days. So I literally felt as though with products, I was popping people in the bucket at the top end, and literally they were falling out the bottom end 79 days later. So I just felt like Groundhog Day, and yeah, you know, in a complete, you know, rat wheel, just keep, you know, same old. So what are we doing? We're basically offering a first-class consumer experience for customers with and a success without selling for ambassadors. And ambassadors are people like myself and Rob, who's going to be doing the other half of this call, and Lee, who are on the call at the moment, and Mary, of course, as well. So what we're doing, we're taking the industry from the taxi cab era, you know, whoever calls it taxi cabs now, you know, it's Uber, it's, you know, whatever, where customers pay more and only the strong recruiters win. We're taking it from there into the modern era, where basically, as I said before, we only make money only when our customers save money. And when I first saw that, I was like, how does that work? You know, we're actually incentivized to help people save money, and we make money from that, you know. And you know, it's basically technology has allowed to do this. You know, we all know that systems duplicate, people don't. So the brainchild behind this technology, or getting the technology together, is a guy called Holton Buggs. He's the CEO and chairman of Ibummerang, and he has a hugely visionary leadership. You know, in 1990, he basically earned less than $500 a month for the first 7 years in his life. He, you know, obviously didn't give up. He was tenacious. He developed formulas and systems to achieve rapid success. And went on actually to break all records, as in he's the Michael Jordan of network marketing. You know, he basically earned 3.2 million his biggest month and 1.3 million as an average month over the 10 years. So he actually ended up earning over 100 million in those 10 years from 2009. So the guy knows what he's doing, and he also supported 45 people to do the same. So he founded Ibummerang in March 2019. as a soft launch and went public and out there in September. And literally all of us, most of us who are in the business, joined November, December last year. So it is exciting because we're in a groundbreaking company, but we have $40 million of sales under our belt, so it's working. And also what Holton did is he basically brought along a great team of leaders. For me, this was really important, coming from corporate backgrounds. You've got T. Gray and Edwin Hayes, who are very, very qualified network marketers. And Mark Kithcart used to work for WPP. So some of the guys on this call will know WPP. You can check him out. And these two guys here, David Manning and Laurie Spears, are basically extreme travel. So what he's done is he's used the technology and basically used then the experience of having a 20-year-old travel company to bolt on to the AI and basically the technology, which I'll talk about in a minute. So we've got that longevity as well as the newness of the technology, which I'm going to share with you in a minute. And finally, last but not least, we've got Peter Hirsch, who's the Chief Giving Officer. I love this. They basically feed kids who are malnourished throughout the world. So every time, an invite or a code is sent out, then basically a child gets fed. So that's nice to be giving back. So how do we bring this vision to the world? It all starts with something called the PRIB. And the PRIB stands for the Perpetual Residual Income Builder. So for me, obviously perpetual means it's working for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And when you get how exciting this is, I know it's just this is, then you won't be able to sleep, seriously. It basically allows you, residual income, I call it my Beyonce money. It's when you get paid, you do something once and you get paid again and again and again. So Beyonce makes a record and every time it's played, she gets a royalty for it. What we do is we basically connect customers to the PRIB, and every time they buy something, we get a commission. So it's just you're just connecting them to a platform. You're not having to do travel, you're not having to do any bookings or anything like that. You're literally connecting them into a platform, and then the PRIB is doing the work for you. It's absolutely incredible. How does it work? It basically uses data analytics and artificial intelligence. So it's very similar to what Amazon have done. Amazon started off, started off selling books, but their goal was to sell everything, right? So at the end of the day, they basically started off selling books, but they knew when you bought your history book or your cookery book or your travel book, they were gathering intelligence on you on what you liked. So, if you bought recipe books, they might go, well, okay, she might need a new set of pots and pans. So that would be served to you. So it's actually, connecting intelligently what people are looking for. Facebook use it the same. I love cycling. So I would like a cycling post, and then I'll get served with, cycling Croatia, which is on my to-do list as well. So, they're actually serving stuff that actually is relevant to me. If I've got a pair of rugby boots put at me, I'll be like, you could be joking, haven't you? But that's just me, so it's intelligent. So we're doing absolutely the same, but we're doing it through our IGO platform, which I'll talk about in a minute. So the data analytics and the AI intelligence, well, how does that work? So what it does is it looks after our customers for us. So they say, when you put a customer in the PRIB, leave it alone and let us do the selling. And I can say, from my point of view, having been in a product-based company, 50% of my time was spent on customers, engaging, following, upselling, etc. So for this, it's just perfect, because literally your customers stay in there, they're in there, they do everything for you. It's just seamless. I absolutely love it. And in terms of your team, if you choose to build a team, and you don't have to build a team in this business, but what you can do there is the PRIB again looks after everything: welcome calls, orientation, training. It's just duplication is the name of this game. And Holton Bugs has done a brilliant job at making it very, very easier for us to duplicate. We have a great team, with the likes of Lee, Mary, Rob, Curtis. We have a great team. We work all together. It's very, very exciting times. And, basically the PRIB does for us what we've struggled to do in direct sales in the past. So whereas the PRIB is the front door to Ibummerang, the IGO platform is the front door to the PRIB. Now, obviously, with what's going on at the moment, we can't travel. The IGO platform is basically a private members-only discount travel platform. We can't travel at the moment. We know that, but as everybody knows, when with the likes of SARS, with the likes of 9/11, with the likes of Ebola, travel is one of the first industries to go boom. So, you know, consumers look at it and go, oh, we can't travel, dear, we'll have to wait till it's right. Us entrepreneurs are looking at going, okay, fine, how many people can I get into the PRIB so that when people can travel, you know, whether it's 2, 3, 4 months, that they can look at and basically go with options within our travel platform. So that's what we're doing at the moment, is building a database to allow us to do that. We've got nearly 600,000. That's a bit out of date, this slide, in the iGo system in the PRIB at the moment. And we chose travel, or why did Holton choose travel? Because it is sexy. It's a massive market, which Rob's going to talk about. And you know, because of social media, people can see anywhere in the world, the Maldives, etc. And you can tell a lot by people by where they're planning to go on holiday. So we can tell, you know, if they're going to the States to go to Disney, or if they're going to Mallorca or Benidorm, or if they're going to Italy, you know, you can basically tell a lot by where people travel. And that's basically artificial intelligence that they're gathering to be able to on-sell other products. And I'm going to let Rob talk to you about that now. So all I would say to you is this is a ground floor opportunity. I'm not in Ibummerang for what it is today, although I love what it is today. I'm actually in Ibummerang for what it's going to be in the next 2 to 3 to 5 years as this grows. So I'm just going to stop sharing, and I'm going to hand you over to you know, my great business partner Rob, who is going to take over from here. And Rob is actually, you know, really smashing this business, and yeah, doing very, really well. So over to you, Rob.
Can you hear me now?
We
Oh,
can
dear.
hear you now.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Okay, just as I come into this end, so we've just seen the last slide, and we're coming into the biggest industry of the world right now. Just before I go into that, I'll just give you a slight background so you know where I'm sort of coming from. Obviously, my name is Rob Walmsley. I was in the army in the parachute regiment from the age of 16. I did 11 and a half years, came out at the age of 28. And because I'd always been told what to do by the army for about 11 and a half years, I decided to tell myself what to do, but I always wanted to make my own success and trying to think of a way of doing that. And my first venture business was, I set up my own company as a health and fitness club. Ran that very, very successfully for 12 years, to the point that someone wanted to buy me at 3 years, and I let it go at 12 years. Same guy, actually, which was kind of cool. And then since then, I've had 2 other businesses, and my latter one being a tree surgery company. I've now hit the age of 50 and looking at a way out. I got introduced actually to network marketing, something really, really aligned with me, with health and fitness and nutritional products. Just like Beverley was saying earlier, old model, bucket of water, not enough hoses in the top and too many holes in the bottom. Literally as simple as that. I absolutely love the products, still take them today. But and I have to be so grateful for that company, because I would have never ever have heard about this so early on if it wasn't for that company. Yeah, so I'm really excited where this is going, for the same reasons as Beverley is, and other people who are in this business already, because I can honestly say, with my background and all of that, this is the best opportunity I have ever seen, for certainly where it's going in the future. And I will say this as well, I've actually used this platform myself now 11 times, 2 of which have been flights, 9 have been hotels. 1 I only saved £5 on, because it was a hotel in the middle of nowhere, but it was a Pacific hotel I wanted. But the rest I've saved £1,268, which is quite incredible. Anyway, enough of me waffling about that. So we've got the iGo platform putting the data into the PRIB, and we're looking at having around 2 million plus customers by the end of the year, just with the compounder numbers and just how this business is growing right now, which is absolutely incredible. So we're looking at travel itself, okay, an $8.8 trillion industry as from last year. This year may be a little bit hampered with what's actually happening, but as Beverley already mentioned, with certain things in the world, this always bounces back with a vengeance. Okay, so which is really exciting, and it sort of makes it like sort of bulletproof. When you actually look at the figures there, you've got Asia at 6 billion a day, and all the other billions going down the screen there. That's $70,000 a second, right? That is ridiculous money. If you had a crumb of that, that'd be, you know, your family set up for life, right? But what I didn't know, Bookings Holdings and Expedia Group pretty much own the whole online websites, what you would normally go and look at if you're looking at Trivago and all the others out there. So they've got 45 sites, and what they actually did in 2018 is 190 billion. Okay, obviously I would say last year was even higher again, because travel seems to be, the world is just getting smaller, right? And so many more people are traveling. Now then, what and I'm sure you can possibly relate to this, I've often done this, where, you know, Bookings Holdings, Expedia Group, literally all they have is retail prices, and they play around with those and they mark them up because they need to for the advertising and everything else which is involved, and there are companies which obviously need to make money. But when I've sometimes looked at something, say, for example, on Booking.com, and I thought, yeah, kind of like that, but like everybody, we always go and check and see if we can get a better deal elsewhere. Can't find one, whatever, I'll then come back to Booking.com because I like it and noticed it's gone up 20 or 30 pounds, UK money, obviously. That's then done my head in a little bit, and I thought, wow, hang on. So what I used to do is phone my mate and ask him to look at exactly the same hotel for me. He would see it at my original price, and then I would give him my details and he would then book it. That happened quite a few times, by the way, and I'm sure some people will probably relate to that. So what we do, we come under that umbrella, the iGo platform, which is Extreme Travel. Okay, so that's a bona fide company, operated 20 years, got many accolades to its name, and you know, I think it was ranked #2 somewhere either in America or even globally. So we're so lucky to have that as a partnership. And what they do, they can get wholesale prices and they pass them on to us, which is so cool. All right, so this is how we beat the system. So looking at our actual site and looking at, these are real time, well, whether they're right now, but these are examples of what you see on our site, which is absolutely incredible. So you're looking at New York there, then you're looking at France, then you're looking at a car rental. And what we've got there is a 339 price in New York. And on our platform, you're saving $161. And France, 440, and you're saving $310 on our site for exactly the same room, exactly the same hotel, exactly the same everything, timings, the lot. And the same with the car. Look at that, $171 saving there. By the way, guys, the savings here in dollars in this case, but you can actually have it in any currency you want to buy it. Okay, which is really quite exciting, because when I was over in Thailand, I actually had I've got a Thai bank account, and I was using my Thai card and actually put it into Thai baht. So that was really very useful for me, especially when I wanted to use that money. Anyway, so whenever you book anything, you get your normal emails with the relevant confirmations, all the details, what you would need, the address, everything. But the best thing on here, it's showing your savings, which is kind of cool. But even better than that is these reward credits. Right, how is this relevant? Well, first of all, Tesco's and various other companies now offer reward credits to create that stickiness to the site or to the company. And how it works for us as TSAs, so people in the business, we get free money. The more money we spend on this site, we get free money. And it's exactly the same for customers as well. At this point, I want to just mention that anybody you give a code to, a free access to the platform, a boomerang, they're the same thing, a code or a boomerang, same thing. You throw that out there to a friend, they then, you know, love the experience. Eventually, more people get on this for more, you know, because we're introducing more people all the time, and they will naturally share this platform amongst their friends anyway, just like we did Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Amazon, Uber, whatever it is, right? But for all of these sites, pretty much every single time, they've got nothing for doing it, okay? But how cool is this? And they shared it naturally. That's why we actually created the youngest ever billionaire, Mark Zuckerberg, through Facebook, just by sharing that platform. How cool is that? That's incredible, right? But this scenario, these free people, these free members we've given this to, will actually be encouraged to share it because they're going to get more reward credits, so they're incentivized to have more free money on this actual platform. So what I'm saying here, guys, it is going to end up going viral, which is really, really exciting, especially when you see what else is involved in this. Okay, then, so this is you, 5-star price, 5-star lifestyle at 3-star prices. Okay, so these are our core services. Hotels we've mentioned, car rentals we've sort of touched on that as well. Cruises really, really exciting here. You've got pretty much every sort of type of cruise you can have, plus you get cruise packages. Apparently, according to Laurie Spears, who's been in the industry 38 years, pretty much knows her stuff. We're the only company out here which actually offer that. So you buy a very discounted cruise, and then you get a free luxury stay somewhere in Mexico on a beautiful resort. To use later on that year or whenever within the terms and conditions, right? Anyway, then you've got flights on here. That's more as a as a bit of a bonus, really. It's part of this as convenience, but the flights aren't guaranteed, okay? I've actually booked 2 of them, and they were very, very competitive, especially when I was comparing them on 3 different platforms. One I found on this site was £10 cheaper, so I bought that all day long, so that's always good. And then the other one was £20 dearer, but it was worth my while because I got these reward credits, right? And it was so simple to do. 3 buttons and it was booked. Homes, this is like Airbnb homes. Weeks, this is just like weeks away, 7-night stays, and they're so great bargains on there. Marketplace, again, absolute fantastic deals come up on that. I was looking at them the other day. 5-star for just literally a few $100s, I think $200 and something and things like that. So yeah, some fantastic deals come up on there where you can bid on. And then you've got timeshare, where owners actually put their timeshares on here to help themselves have a bit more revenue. But to be involved in timeshare, right, is thousands. So to have the choice of jumping on some of these properties also is incredible. You'll see there additional lifestyle activities and rewards and savings. I'm not going to read all those out, but just say, for example, now you were in Orlando, you arrive at the hotel, next minute you get the upsale of a Vibe car, as you can see there, getting taking you from the airport to your hotel, and you'll get a kickback on that, by the way. We'll talk about that later. Then you're around the hotel with your family or whatever it is, and you may be getting theme parks, you could be getting restaurants and outdoor activities, whatever it may be. There's things on there which are upsold to you by the good old Prib, which is absolutely incredible. You'll also see there the price guarantee, the 110% the difference. And this is what so if you bought on this site and then you found it cheaper elsewhere within, I'm not sure if the time frame is 24 hours, they'll give you that 110% difference of the price in reward credits. So you're not ever going to lose out, which is really awesome. Okay then guys, so how does this work? All right, so you've got 2 different platforms here. You've got my platform, which is the ambassador site, which we save up to 70+%. So this is Mary and a couple other people, Debbie and Beverley as well, who are on this call. We have access to this site, which is incredible. Then you've got the customer site. This is basically where you get given a free code. You've given that away to a friend, person, or even someone you don't even know, because it's so cool. You can do, there's various ways of giving this out. So it's awesome. So what we've actually got there, we've got exactly the same hotel, same time, same everything. But in this case, the wholesale price happens to be 41% off and 20% for the customer. So I would say 424, the customer would save 212 compared to the booking.coms and the other public prices, right? So this is me now. If you look at the example there, I've then thrown the Ibummerang out to a couple of friends. They've had a saving of $212 in this scenario. They're chuffed to bits with that because it's beaten everything else out there. I'm chuffed to bits because I've now had half that saving coming back to me, with the other half going into the com plan and back to the company. So 35% goes back into the com plan and the uni level, and then the 15% goes back to the company to keep that tip top, any improvements and everything else what the company needs. Okay, then, so there's 2 ways of actually doing this particular business, okay? First of all, this is just me, not ever talking to anyone apart from just literally giving away codes. In this case, I'm not that popular. I've only got 10 people. So they've worked out that average family saving going on holiday once a year is $600. So because I've only got 10 friends there, that's 10 times 600 is 6,000. And half of that is then coming back to me at $3,000. I know I'm a little bit more popular than that. And I give out 100 boomerangs. That figure, instead of being 3,000, is now 30,000. Okay, so you can build this business as huge as you want. I actually know some individuals, or know of rather, and they've got like over 2,000 customers already, which is absolutely incredible. So you can just, however you go to work on that side of it, you can just generate whatever you'd like, okay, which is so exciting. Now then, you've got the team builder model. So this is me now getting a team of 50. Now, this isn't me getting 50 people myself. This is me introducing a couple of people who introduce a couple of people and so forth. And the next minute you've got 50 people. Now, leveraging your efforts is incredible, right? Because now we've only got 10 friends each. That's 500 customers times the 600 saving, the annual sort of saving gives you 575 per day. An override of that at the lower end of 10%, there are higher percentages than that. This is the bottom line. Okay, gives you 58 a day, gives you 20,712 per year. This is so watered down, guys. I can't emphasize enough. But yeah, so you can just see the scope of how this can work if you start leveraging your efforts, and hence the people caring enough about you to come and, you know, just take a look at this for yourself. Okay, so Vibe rideshare industry, another huge industry, going to be adding data into the PRIB. Okay, we're going to be talking about that very shortly. So we've got the iGo platform, the biggest industry of the world, bar none. There's something like the top three, which is pharmaceutical, oil and gas, and food, and a couple of others. You could put them all together and it still doesn't come anywhere near this industry. So when you see what's actually happening here, the massive industry, and this is going to grow so huge, that data and all those people are going to get put into the PRIB. So our data is going to be absolutely nuts. Now, there's loads of companies out there have now realizing what Alton Bugs has got, okay, what Ibummerang is. And it's so attractive to them because this is liquid gold to any industry. So if you can imagine here what's happening, guys. Okay, so we've got Vibe is the first vertical outside of the iGo platform to be added to this PRIB. This industry is $1.2 trillion. Okay, the transport industry is absolutely massive. Okay, the next, you got 3 there and you got 4. Boom Mobile is now going to be launched sometime this year, apparently. Customers, and you don't have to do any work whatsoever. Same with the Vibe Ride, it's going to be advertised that as well when it's in that area. And then you've got other verticals such as fuel. They're looking at into the petroleum companies right now. So every time someone pays a mobile or fills their car up or goes to the cinema or whatever it is, you end up getting a kickback on multiple verticals to a point that you've got no idea where this money's coming in. Okay, which is so exciting. Right, guys, already touched on the rideshare there. You look at the numbers down here, 98 million rideshare passengers and growing, 5.3 million drivers and growing. The gig economy, you know, today is incredible because people are always looking for multiple ways to earn money. Rideshare is so easy because all they need to do is connect their phone up to the app and go in the car and start driving for however long. They just work whenever they want, turn it on or off. Simple as that. The rideshare industry, as you can see there, is 24.4 billion. Massive money, okay? And that is growing. We're looking at the Vibe is going to be the new, like you've got Uber, you've got Lyft. This is a new, another concept which is going to be so more attractive than the others for any driver going to looking at this, all right? So I'll explain that in a minute. What I love about the Vibe is also you can actually, on the app, you can actually select your Vibe. So you can actually have what music as soon as you enter that car, you can have the music, the tunes that you like to listen to or not, or you can have the aircon, you know, the temperature of the air, whether the driver wants to talk to you, you can actually select certain routes. If you were a bit worried and things like that, you can choose which way you go home or something like that. You can choose the driver being male or female if you're a lady coming out for a club one night. So there's many options on there, which is so cool. But the best, most exciting thing is the fact that you can earn money when you drive, you can earn money when you introduce drivers, or you can earn money when you introduce customers, which I'll explain a little bit further here. Okay, then, why is this going to be more attractive for an Uber driver or a Lyft driver or whatever other taxi driver there is? Why will they want to be Vibe? And this is the reason, right? So look, we're looking at this fare ride here, and we've just made it easy money as being a $100 fare. We know probably the average is anything between 30 and 15 pounds, dollars, whatever. Curtis's actual fare ride to go from the airport home is $102. So these fares do exist. But anyway, as the driver, okay, the driver gets 75% with Uber and maybe the other, and Lyft, I've been told they're around 60%. So straight away, the driver's earning more money. But it gets better, because every time the person who introduced the driver, every time that driver makes a fare, they get 3% or $3 in this scenario. The other $3 goes further up into the compound, into the drive share pool. Then you've got the rider who obviously pays the fare, but someone introduced that rider. So every time that rider gets into a vibe, the person who introduced that rider gets 3% every single time. How cool is that? And then the person who introduced the referrer, who introduced the rider, basically it goes with the compound that way, gets another $3 that way. Every time someone activates one of these codes, again, a meal is fed to a child in need through the Boom Foundation, which again is that giving back, which is really, really cool. Okay, then, do you boomerang? Definitely, 100%, I definitely boomerang. But what's so appropriate for this slide is just like saying, did you see that on YouTube? Did you get that off eBay? And it's just going to be exactly the same with this. Did you iBoom that? Did you get that on iGo? Whatever the terminology will be, and people abbreviate it, whatever it is, but people will be talking about this 100% in the future. And what I'd hate for you guys to be is on this call, wondering whether this is for you, and then you see pretty much everyone around you with the app on the phone and talking about this in the future. So just bear that in mind. Anyway, so we're looking at how do we get involved in this, okay? Or how do we pass codes and all of that? Well, basically it's all the means that you can possibly imagine, you know, just the basic ways of just typing it in there or looking it up on Google. But even better, we've got all the very latest with the QR codes, and you could literally actually scan this right now if you're watching this on your computer. On the screen there, and you could just put your phone up against one of those, and straight away you could then be asked to put a code in, and you're on the way to getting started. Again, every time one of these codes is activated and someone comes onto the platform, a meal is fed to a child in need through the Boom Foundation, which is, again, that giving back, which is awesome. Right then, so how do we get, you know, where is the money and what does this mean, and about the business and everything else? So we've got this Fast Start Accelerator bonus, which has only just sort of come in, I don't know, it's about a month or so now. And I love this, right? Because it's really, really quite powerful. So not only are you earning money from your members and you're doing that, but if you decide to introduce someone and start building a bit of a team, this is really, really cool. And we've got the various ways of doing it. You've got coach class, business class, first class. Let's look at first class just for a moment, okay? And you look all the figures going down that column. So for example, in this scenario here, if I introduce, for example, Mary, I get paid $90. Say if Mary then introduced somebody, she gets paid $90, but I get paid 18. Then that person introduced somebody, they get $90, and it all comes up that way. But I still get paid $12. And this carries on going down till I've got no idea what's happening down the bottom there, because I wouldn't have a clue. You know, it's too far deep for me to know about, but I'm still getting $24 at level 7. Just that scenario there, you know, you can see there just by one person equals 180. Now, what really lights me up, if you just did it really, really simply and everyone just introduced 2 people, that figure at the bottom there works out at 4,700 and either 62 or 4 pounds. I can't remember my maths. I'll have to remember that for the next time. But yeah, incredible figure, right? Just on this side of an extra bonus, okay? But there's more. Okay then, so if you decide to introduce 2 people, you now activate this dual team bonus, okay? So what happens here is this. So for example, this is me now with a hair transformation and a slightly different skin tone and far better looking. I've introduced someone to my left and then someone to my right, okay? They then, I would help them introduce people, and then these people also have customers, and then customers go on holiday and there's payments coming into here. Basically what I'm saying is activity down below me, and then this activity equals customer volume. In this case, you paid on your weaker side, okay, and at 20%, so that'd be $1,000 coming back up for me just on this dual team alone, and it is capped at 250 grand a week, okay, which is not a bad figure. Obviously, that's an incredible number to be capped at, but people will get capped at this, okay. Not everybody, as you can imagine, but you know, that's there to keep the company safe and you know, healthy. Right then, if you'll notice there where it says 10%, 20% team bonuses, I'll talk about that a little bit later as we get on the slide here. Okay, then, so how do we get started? Every single person has to pay the $49 for standby, which basically gets you your back office and your license, as it were, to then start making money on one of these three packages. Okay, so you can either start on coach class, which your investment is $250, or you can start on business class and your investment is $500, or you can start on first class where your normal investment would be $1,000, but for this month only, with the global situation happening right now, he's done a stimulus package where that figure is now $799, okay, which is really, really cool. Okay, so when we're just looking at that, I'm going to talk about these right now, but when you look at a one-time investment for, I don't know, for a business, which is going to go insane if you work at it, is absolutely the lowest overhead I've ever seen in my lifetime, and I'll explain a little bit more on that. But right then, we're looking at the coach class. Now then, we've got flights. So you looking at the ambassador site, you can see hotels, flights, rental cars. Business, you get everything what coach class has, but you have in cruises as well. First class, you're getting a lot, absolutely everything. Coach class, you're only having 10 boomerangs. Business class, you're having 25. First class, again, it's setting you up for more success, and you're having 50. You can buy more. They work out about $1 a boomerang, okay, and you normally buy them at packs of 25, and they sometimes offer deals where they do 2 for 1. So don't worry about not having enough boomerangs, okay, so that's all no problems. The Jewel team, as I mentioned before on that previous slide, okay, is 10%, 12% or 15%, as you can see on the slide there. So if you had $1,000 coming to you when you were on coach class, straight away, if you're on business class, you've done exactly the same work, but you've had half again, you're having $1,500. That's why it's important, guys, okay? And then you've got the general lease, and then basically you've got the real good deals, which then come out. If you're on first class, you get it 2 weeks before everyone else, business then 1 week, and then general lease is a coach class with everyone else, okay? The only other thing I want to add to that, you've got that one-time investment, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. If this was $10,000, honestly, 100% and on art, I'd be all in on this. Even if this was just Vibe, I'd be paying that sort of money to get involved with that, but that's just me. But anyway, when we look at this now, you've got $99 per month to basically, that works out £75, £76 a month as your subscription fee to have this business. This is your only overhead you have. That is it. Okay, to have your online business, you can take anywhere you decide to have your mobile phone and sit down at a desk or cafe or whatever it is you do. So that's your only overhead. Right, guys, I'm going to stop share. So basically, my question there is, when are we starting? I'm going to do a stop share here so we can just get everyone on screen a minute. And I just want to tell you another couple of things. So first of all, there are right now, Alton Bugs has actually put in a $2 million, starter sort of bonuses for rank advancements and introducing 2 people and things like that. So straight away, if you introduce, say if you came on first class yourself and introduced 2 people, there is approximately $452 to be made straight away. So almost getting your investment back straight off. If you did it before, I'm not sure what the date is now, but if you did it before the 7th, that figure is taken to $577, so what I'm trying to say, there is incentives as well for this month only, which is really, really kind of cool. Now, the only 3 questions or 3 numbers I'm going to give to you is if you're a number 1, you're somebody who's very, very interested in this. Maybe I've won just a question, but you definitely want to start and you're all in. Number 2 is someone who is very interested, but has got a few more questions, which you've certainly got the time to ask on here in a moment or 2. And yeah, just put yourself down as number 2. And number 3 is somebody who's not interested in the actual business, but would love to be a customer. And even if you're not interested in being a customer, have a code anyway and feed a meal and do the charity side for a child in need. So I'm going to stop talking there for a minute and give my voice a rest. And if anyone has got any questions, or if Beverley wants to say anything, or Mary, please unmute yourselves and just fill in any gaps if I've missed anything out.